everyone, in this video I'm going to give you my top tips for making oily or combination skin less shiny, more mattified, especially for the summertime months when your skin, some people's skin becomes more shiny and oily versus the wintertime, some people's skin becomes more dry. And I know that people requested a video on the top foundations for dry skin. I will be doing that, but since summer is coming up, I wanted to make sure to get this video out as soon as possible. All right, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that you can be eligible for the giveaways that I host. And let's get looking at how you can keep oily and shiny skin mattified for the summer months. So in this video, I'm going to cover 5 things or 5 categories. The first one is moisturizers slash some kind of skincare that is best for giving you a matte base. Then I'm going to suggest a couple primers that are best for people with oily skin. Some foundations that I have found that have a more lasting mattifying finish. Some powders and toppers that help the skin stay matte, and finally some specialty items and things that are specific to trying to take away that shine. Before I start with my suggestions, I want to make clear that if you truly have oily skin or combination skin with areas of high shine and oil production, nothing on the market will make it so that your skin doesn't produce oil throughout the day. That's a natural function of your body. It is your pores producing sebum, producing oil, and causing that shine. There are products that will temporarily mattify your skin. There are products that are better at looking more matte than others, but any company that tells you use this product, or any person that tells you, oh, you can use this product and you'll stay matte all day long without any shine, is overselling to you. So please just keep that in mind. So of course, the first step in any sort of beauty or makeup routine will be your skincare. If you have truly an extreme oily skin all over and you don't need moisture, because sometimes people have oily but also dry skin, that is a possibility. But if you have very shiny skin that doesn't need a lot of moisture, you can skip moisturizer, and I would suggest just washing your face and then going over with a liquid toner, which will help you get some antioxidants and some good ingredients for your skin without adding any sort of layer that could potentially exacerbate any oiliness or shininess. One suggestion would be to get one of Paula Choice's toners. In fact, any of them, no matter whether she suggests that it's for oily skin or dry skin or not, any of them will work. None of them will leave a shine behind on the skin because they're all liquids. So just choose a toner and you should be good. But only a very small percentage of people will fall into that category. If you do use a moisturizer, like most of us, I have found that lately my favorite is from First Aid Beauty. This is the Skin Rescue Oil-Free Mattifying Gel. This is not it says mattifying gel. It's not something that really actively mattifies your skin, but it is a fantastic, very lightweight gel textured moisturizer that won't leave any sort of film behind on the skin that would make it look more shiny. Plus, the reason why this moisturizer is so great is because it is packed with antioxidants, packed with good anti-aging skin ingredients. Of course, the leader in terms of good skincare would be Paula's Choice, and specifically this moisturizer from her line is great if you have oily combination skin. This is the Hydralight Moisture-Infusing Lotion. Again, the texture is very similar to the First Aid Beauty one, and it's probably cheaper per ounce. I haven't done the math. They are both 2 ounces, so I'm almost certain that this will be cheaper per ounce than the First Aid Beauty, but it has the same gel-like texture. It's very lightweight and it's not going to leave any sort of reflective film behind. If you need a much more affordable alternative, this moisturizer, actually it's called a serum, but it is in formulation a moisturizer from e.l.f. Eyes, Lip, Face, is the Smoothing Serum. It's not a serum at all. It is a very light, very thin cream, almost kind of like a gel texture, but it's not a gel. It's a very thin, watery moisturizer texture, and again, it's not going to leave any sort of reflective film behind. It does have 1 or 2 good antioxidant ingredients in here, but it doesn't come anywhere near the skincare power that these 2 moisturizers have. But it's only a few dollars, so if you cannot afford something like this, this is a good option for oily skin. And of course, you don't want to go outside during the daytime at any point without putting on moisturizer, and I have found this is my holy grail moisturizer in terms of not making my skin look more oily. That's a hard thing to do with moisturizer, especially if you're going to go SPF 30 or above, which you should if you're going outside. This is from Paula's Choice. It is the Resist Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense. It not only has a very lightweight texture to it, it doesn't leave behind a shiny sunscreen-like film on the skin, but the bonus is that this has a slight tint to it. It's not something that will change the color of your skin the way a tinted moisturizer would, but it has enough tint to combat the white cast that sunscreens usually have. Okay, number 2, primers. I don't always use a primer, but if you are someone who uses a primer and you want an extra layer to help try to prolong a mattifying effect, I have a few recommendations for you. The first one is by Laura Mercier. This is the foundation. It's just called the foundation primer. She may have other types, so I'm not talking about any of those. I'm talking about just the regular standard foundation primer. This is a travel size, but it comes in a bigger tube. This, again, is a lightweight, almost gel-like texture, and it doesn't actively mattify, but it also doesn't add any sort of shine or reflectiveness on the skin. This one by Urban Decay is the Complexion Primer Potion. This is the pore perfecting one that comes in the purple tube. This one is a much thicker texture, and it comes out as a white cream kind of consistency, and it is a little harder to spread on the skin. This one is actively mattifying. It will temporarily take away any sort of shine that you have on the skin. And remember, it's going to be temporary. It's not something that, you know, if you apply this, then that means you're going to be shine free for the next 12 hours. No, but this will give you a matte base initially and for a little while. I personally don't prefer this, even though it does give you a more mattifying effect than, say, the Laura Mercier one, just because of the texture and it being thicker. But if you really need that, then this is a good option. And I wish I had a more affordable or drugstore level recommendation for you in this department, but I don't, at least not yet. So third, let's move on to good foundations for oily combination skin. I actually did a dedicated video on my top foundations for oily combination skin. So if you want to hear more in-depth analysis of a few foundations that I really like, from light coverage to heavy coverage, please go see that video. I will show you the same number of foundations that I cover in that video, plus a few additional ones, but I'm not going to go in depth. I'm just going to show them to you as good foundations for helping you keep more matte longer throughout the day. So on the lightest coverage, this is Maybelline's Dream Pure BB 8-in-1 Beauty Balm Skin Clearing Perfector. Make sure you get the one in the blue tube like this. It has 2% salicylic acid, not the other types of BB creams from this line in Maybelline's category. A step up in coverage comes from Estée Lauder, the Double Wear Light Stay in Place Makeup. Not actively mattifying, but a good option if you need something that doesn't make you look oily and is long wearing. And the rest of these are pretty full coverage. From the drugstore, you have 2 great options. Of course, the classic Revlon ColorStay makeup for oily combination skin. And I think almost equally good is Maybelline's Super Stay Makeup 24 Hours with the Micro Flex formula. Higher end options, again, from Estée Lauder, from their Double Wear line. All 3 of the foundations in this line are good for combination oily skin. So this is the Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup, just the regular one in the frosted glass bottle. And the heaviest coverage is the Double Wear Maximum Coverage Camouflage Makeup. This also has SPF 15. Makeup Forever's Matte Velvet Plus is also a fantastic option for getting a shine-free finish. And of course, heavy coverage. And last is MAC Pro Longwear Nourishing Waterproof Foundation. Not only a very matte finish, but is also very water resistant. Fourth, let's talk about powders, which help lock your makeup in place. A lot of times people with oily skin have trouble with their makeup moving, so this is a good step in addition to helping you get a matte finish. I wouldn't say that I have a holy grail mattifying finishing powder. Any sort of powder that doesn't actively have any reflective shimmer in it will help mattify the skin by nature of being a powder. Plus, you will inevitably get oily throughout the day, but in any case, my better suggestions would be one from MAC. This is the Prep and Prime Pressed Finishing Powder. It is white, stark white in the pan, but it's not going to end up that way on the skin. It will lighten the skin ever so slightly, so if you really need to do flash photography, then you might want to skip this for something that has absolutely no cast to it. A very good affordable choice is from e.l.f. This is the high definition powder. It's just your standard clear powder with that silky sort of texture. But again, if you are under strong flash, it can kick back a little bit. My best suggestion actually, and something that I find works best in terms of actually mattifying the skin, is Maybelline's Dream Matte Powder. Now, unfortunately, this version of the powder has been discontinued. I purchased mine through Amazon. This, I find, has the most proactive mattifying effect on the skin as opposed to just being a powder. The other thing with this is that you can have it as an alternative to the foundations that I just showed you. It's going to only give you light, maybe almost medium coverage, but it has a great matte finish. So if you want a powder foundation and you don't need a lot of coverage, this is also a good option. Not technically available in the drugstores anymore, but a lot of sellers still selling it on Amazon. Fifth are specialty items to help get rid of that shine, because inevitably you will develop oil throughout the day and you probably will want to blot sometime later in the day, at least once, twice, maybe 3 times, depending on how oily you get. The first option that I have that I think is a very unique product, there's nothing really out there like it, is from Mally. This is the Evercolor Poreless Face Defender, and it comes in a compact like this. It is a clear, sort of dimethicone feeling substance, and it goes on your face completely clear. It has sort of like a gel like texture, but also powdery. It's very hard to describe, but you pat it on top of the skin. You can use it as a finisher if you want to, but it's great as a touch-up, and it's pretty miraculous because despite the texture and despite you putting something of this consistency on top of your skin, it won't interfere with the makeup that you've already applied, and yet it will give you an instant matte finish. So this is a great product. Another product that is on the market that I do have, but I can't seem to find it, I'll put a picture of what it looks like here for you, comes from Paula's Choice. It is another instant mattifying gel type of product. You can use it as a primer underneath your foundation if you want to, or you can rub it through your fingers and pat it on top of oily spots on your skin, on top of the makeup later in the day. And my last suggestion is probably my best one, because it is effective, it's instant, and it is fantastically, superbly, incredibly affordable. That's from e.l.f. These are the Shine Erasers. They are blotting sheets, so I will show you what one looks like here. They're just thin sheets of paper, and you press them on top of the oily areas on your skin. I believe Neutrogena has their clean and clear blotting papers that you can also buy at the drugstore. They're the blue ones, but they're much more expensive and they're not any better than these. A free alternative would be to take just 1 square of toilet paper and separate the layers of it so that's very thin, and you can use that in the exact same way you would a blotting sheet. just make sure it's clean. All right, I hope you found that helpful if you have oily combination skin and are dreading the shininess that may come with the summer hot months. There are plenty of things that can help you combat the oiliness and shininess, and I hope that this video helped spin those wheels for you or solve that problem for you. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you in the next video. Best Makeup, Big Bad Blue, and Softened Up. And these come in the same pots that you would find for paint pots.